designer, the greatest feat you can achieve is for your design legacy to perpetuate for decades and even centuries into the future. It is incredibly hard to design something that makes this possible. However, two designers who did achieve this were Eileen Gray and Charlotte Perrin. Good morning. I, Ashita Miglani, Radhika Devia and Radhe Sadrakar from Unit 1, Group 1 will present on the topic Moving Mechanisms, a comparative study between two reclining chairs. The two pieces of furniture we have chosen to place in comparison with each other for the purpose of this study are Eileen Gray's S-bend chair and Charlotte Perrin's chaise lounge basculaire. The primary focus of our research was the contrasting moving mechanisms that were incorporated into both of these chairs for the benefit of the user. We will focus on their purposes, the materials incorporated, how they come together to form the structure, and the user experience of each chair. To understand the chairs, first we must understand the historical background and the design approach that the designers followed to arrive at these designs. Both of these chairs were designed in the period between the First World War and the Second World War. In this period, it was very hard to obtain properly dried hardwood, and this was why Marcel Breuer in 1925 introduced tubular steel into furniture. Many designers over the world introduced these into their designs as well, such as Charlotte Perrin. Charlotte Perrin believed in the process of extracting and then rendering back in her designs, which meant reducing the elements of the design to the basic necessary structure and removing all superficial details. She also believed in equipping the interior space as opposed to decorating them, which is visible in all of her designs. Eileen Gray, on the other hand, had traditional roots in Japanese lacquer work and traditional artistry. From this, she evolved to a more modern perspective, which was influenced by the Art Deco movement, which also took place between the First World War and the Second World War. Her designs include geometry, symmetry, and beauty, as well as comfort. Radhe will now introduce the chairs individually.
The first chair is S-bend chair designed by Eileen in 1932. The frame of the chair was made of sycamore wood in a combination of brown and cream color. The brown padded canvas seats was made of two cushions with internal bamboo cross tubing. The inspiration of the chair was ocean liner chair and deck chairs. Gray also inspired by her previous work, that was transit chair. The other chair is Charlotte Perrin's B306 chaise lounge chair. It was made in France in 1920 to 1929. It was made of tubular steel frame resting on four legs of mild steel base. The inspiration of the chair was Hornet's rocking chair. So this is Hornet's rocking chair inspired by this chair. And Le Corbusier also collaborated with Charlotte Perrin in the terms of sketching, which was main theme of the chair. So, moving to the theme of the chair, both the designers decided to have incorporate movement in the chair, yet both of them have different mechanism to achieve it. Eileen Gray made S-bend chair in such a way that it can be folded half of its size, which halves the amount of the space needed to be stored. You can see here, it has been halved. And other hand, Charlotte Perrin designed chair in such a way that user can rotate entire steel frame, so user can easily choose a comfortable position. So Radhika will explain this one.
So basically the materials and structures, they were incorporated in such a way that they connected to the movement of the chairs. So S-bend chair was entirely made it was handmade, and chaise lounge basculante was machine produced. S-bend chair had sycamore wood used for the frame, and the canvas padding was used for the seat for durability. Chaise lounge basculante was entirely made of tubular steel, and pony skin leather was used for the making of the cushions and the seat. The sycamore wood was perforated in chaise lounge basculante. The S-bend chair. to reduce the weight of the chair so that the folding is easier. While the use of tubular steel was in chairs launch Vesculente in order to show the uniformity of the form and uniformity in the movement of the chairs. The structure of S-bend chair was basically the two S-bend frames which were connected through the iron rods. The frontal convex frame folded into the concave frame to reduce the size, while the tubular steel had the rotatory frame which adjusted with the help of the weight of the user. So the user experience for both the chairs was basically that. Okay. So basically, in order to make the chair more lightweight, the size of the frontal convex frame was reduced, and that created a problem for the user as the shorter person, the legs of the shorter person would hang over the floor. While in chairs launch Vesculente, a taller person would face a problem in the sleeping posture as the legs would hang over the frame. Now Ashita will continue with the conclusion.
We see that these two chairs were designed only a few years apart, but they are of a vast difference in the designer's approach to the theme of functionality before ornamenting. Even though they are very different in terms of material, structure and user experience, what unites the chairs is that they both incorporate moving mechanisms to improve the user experience of the chair. At the end of the day, the S-bend chair was experimental and now it is placed in the world famous Victoria Albert Museum. On the other hand, the mass-produced chaise lounge Basculante was mass-produced and now is still in production and sale to this day. We see that both the designers achieved success in terms of inspiring people decades into the future to this day. Thank you.